Wagan people, welcome to Drifter Compass, a place for stories, discoveries, and perspectives. Here, we explore the moments, people, and ideas that shape our past and continue to influence our present. Join the journey and let the compass guide you along some of these untold history. So sit back and let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we explore a lesser-known chapter in Jamaica's history, a chapter overshadowed by one of the most famous disasters of the Caribbean. Most people are familiar with the Port Royal earthquake of June 7, 1692, the event that destroyed what was once called the wickedest city on earth. It is often told as the defining moment, the end of a city swallowed by the sea. But what many people do not realize is that the earthquake was only the beginning. Minutes after the shaking stopped, Jamaica was struck by a powerful tsunami that reshaped the island's coastline. It uprooted ships, flooded entire settlements, altered harbors, and permanently changed the geography of the south coast. Today, we're going to look at what really happened after the earthquake, the timeline, the eyewitness accounts, the scientific explanations, and how the tsunami of 1692 transformed Jamaica in ways most people never learn about. The events began on Monday, June 7th, 1692, shortly before 11:43 a.m. local time, the most widely accepted estimate based on church records and eyewitness notes. Contemporary reports describe three major shocks within a span of seconds. Port Royal, built on loose sand, liquefied beneath the town. Streets dropped straight into the water. Buildings split apart. In less than 2 minutes, approximately 2/3 of Port Royal disappeared beneath the sea. But while the earthquake is the headline, what followed immediately after was even more devastating for the island as a whole. Eyewitness accounts recorded in journals, colonial letters, and naval logs all mention the same sequence: a sudden withdrawal of the sea, followed by multiple incoming waves. At Kingston Harbor and Port Royal, the water retreated so far that the sea floor was exposed. People reported seeing anchors, cannons, and debris lying on dry ground, but only for a moment. Then the waves arrived. Ships anchored offshore were driven far inland. A Royal Navy frigate was carried over the walls of Fort Charles. Another vessel was pushed deep into the town and left stranded. The tsunami didn't only strike Port Royal, it hit the entire southern coastline. Old Harbor Bay. Reports describe the sea rising violently and sweeping inland, destroying boats and flooding the shoreline. Yallas and Morant Bay. Fishermen witnessed the water rush out, leaving fish stranded, then return with force. Hellshire. Sections of the coastline were permanently shifted. New sandspits formed, others disappeared. Kingston. At this time, Kingston was not yet the capital. It was only a small settlement. The tsunami flooded parts of the newly forming town and reshaped the harbor bed, which later influenced how the city developed in the 18th century. By the way, if you're enjoying this journey into Jamaica's hidden history, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It helps more people discover these untold stories that shaped our island. Now, let's continue. Geologists studying the event have identified several permanent changes caused specifically by the tsunami. 1. New shorelines. The coastline around Port Royal shifted. Some underwater areas became shallow sandbanks, others deepened suddenly. 2. Collapse of the quays. Small sand quays and spits that once protected the harbor were destroyed or moved. 3. Harbor depth changes. The depth of Kingston Harbor changed dramatically, affecting future shipping lanes. 4. Long-term coastal erosion patterns. The 1692 event altered how waves reached the south coast. Some areas eroded faster for decades afterward. Reports of people being swept away while attempting to run across exposed seabed. Ships riding over the tops of houses. Walls collapsing inward from the pressure of water. Entire sections of beach disappearing in minutes. One survivor wrote that the sea rose like a swelling chest, then fell back as though breathing, a remarkably accurate description of tsunami surge and withdrawal cycles. The tsunami made Port Royal unsafe for rebuilding. Because of this, political and economic power shifted permanently to Kingston, which grew rapidly afterward. The newly altered shoreline forced changes in shipping routes, military defenses, fishing patterns, land use around the harbor. The earthquake destroyed a city, but the tsunami changed the island. The story of June 7, 1692 is usually told as a tale of Port Royal sinking beneath the Caribbean Sea. But the full truth is larger than the city itself. The earthquake was the beginning. The tsunami that followed reshaped Jamaica's coastline, redirected the island's future, and left geological marks still visible today. And yet, this part of the story is rarely told. If you learned something new today, remember to like the video, subscribe, and share it with someone who loves history.